Good morning and welcome to Begin in the Word. Our text today comes from Proverbs chapter 31, verse 10 through 31. We will only read the highlighted sections. She makes bed coverings for herself. Her clothing is fine linen and purple. Her husband is known in the gates when he sits among the elders of the land. She makes fine linen garments and sells them and delivers sashes to the merchant. We've been working through the book of Proverbs chapter 31. We come to our last study. Chapter 31 is a discussion or a teaching of Lemuel's mother. Lemuel was a king or king-to-be. His mother was likely a Jewish woman that had been taken captive. And she was exiled from her home country, and now she is in a foreign land. And she is teaching her son the truths of God's law. And as she teaches her son these truths, she's teaching him things that will help him be a better king. In verses 1 through 9, she teaches him that, warns him against strong drink and destructive women. And he tells him that these are not fitting for a king and that they will destroy your life. And instead then, in verse 10 through 31, she tells him the kind of woman you do need in your life so that you can be a better man, the kind of woman that will make you a fit king. This proverb is filled with that wisdom. She explains through the course of these 21 verses how to take this teaching regarding a man and woman becoming one flesh and look at it in the closest of detail, the kinds of things that they do for each other to make each other better. Now, while it's told from the perspective of the virtuous woman, it's told from a mother to her son, understanding that these are the kinds of things that he must empower her to be. So this teaching goes both directions. It's to the woman to be a better woman, but it's to the man to empower her to be a better woman and to understand the value that she brings. And so doing, it is a great piece of wisdom helping us understand how it is a husband and wife become one flesh. It is an acrostic. In other words, each phrase of poetry begins with a progressive letter of the Hebrew alphabet, giving a way to memorize the Hebrew alphabet, possibly used by the ancients for that purpose, and also a way to have the, if you will, the ABCs of a virtuous woman. Now, as we come to the end, we see this chiastic structure finally winding down to its final point. In this chiastic structure, Lemuel's mother works through several points about this virtuous woman and how she will make her husband a better man. And then it reverses back through those points, working backwards as we get to the end of the text. And that's what a chiastic poetic structure is. The central theme of the teaching is always the central part of the chiasm. It's the thing that holds the teaching together. While every phrase and every statement is important, what Lemuel's mother really has in view is how these things, these characteristics of a virtuous woman, help make him a better man. And as the text says, it causes him to be honored in the gates, to be respected by the community because of the value she brings to his life. And so today's discussion are the last two mirrored phrases. Phrases say, she makes bed coverings for herself. Her clothing is fine linen and purple. And then the last statement, she makes linen garments and sells them. She delivers sashes to the merchants. And you can see right away the same thing we've noticed the last couple of days. These phrases are very easy to see how they are chiastically reflective of each other. One building up to the main point of her husband being respected in the gates, being honored in the community, and the other working backward from that. Well, the text tells us that she makes bed coverings for herself. Her clothing is fine linen and purple. I was so impressed by something that a commentary said on this text, I thought I would just read it. Dr. Garrett says, for all her strength and business acumen, she is still elegant. Dressing well and decorating the home with pride is not here regarded as frivolous. Linen implies imports from Egypt, and purple describes the dyed fabric from Phoenicia. This woman, this virtuous woman, brings beauty to her life. She makes the world around her a more beautiful place. Whether it's how she decorates her bedchambers, or other aspects of her home, or how she dresses herself. Within the confines of dignity and modesty and discretion, she still nevertheless makes herself and her world a beautiful thing. What a wonderful thing it is to see a virtuous woman who has also leveraged the gifts that God has given her to make herself and her world beautiful. Men, don't become frustrated that your wife spends time making herself beautiful. This is what God has told her to do. This is what the virtuous woman does. Don't be frustrated that she worries about the picture being hung just exactly right in the room, or the color coordination between this chair and that chair, and those types of things. That is how she makes her world beautiful. And Lemuel, you need this. Your mother is telling you, you need beauty in your life. It will make you a better man. Us men tend to get so bogged down with the difficulties of life, the work, the dirt, the struggle, and we lose sight of the beauty of God's creation. God created women, remember, to make us better. It was not good for us to be alone, and one of the things that women can do for us is they bring beauty into our life. A good husband is a great husband when he is accompanied by a woman that brings beauty into his life. The last phrase, she makes linen garments and sells them. She delivers sashes to the merchant. Not only does she bring beauty to her life, she has an overflow of beauty that she brings to people around her. And she brings beauty to the lives of others. In this case, these things that she manufactures, she's selling them. But the real thrust of the truth that's going on here is the beauty, this incredible beauty, whether it's the imports from Egypt, the purple from these dyed fabrics from Phoenicia, whatever it is that she's doing. Not only is she able to leverage those things to bring beauty into her life and how she decorates her surroundings and how she dresses herself, but also she has such an overflow of beauty that she brings it into the life of others. Ladies, it's not just enough for you to dress yourself appropriately and beautifully and to make your own world beautiful. Seek to make all the world beautiful, the world around you. Reach out to the others in your life and help them make their world more beautiful. That's what the virtuous woman does. And Mr. Lemuel, you need that also. You need a woman who's not only making your life and her life beautiful, but is also reaching out to make the lives of the people in your community, the people around you, more beautiful. That will make you honored in the gates. Hope you've enjoyed the study over the last few days of Proverbs chapter 31. Indeed, it is a great picture of a virtuous woman, but never lose sight that this was a mother teaching her son how to be a better man. And men, we need virtuous women in our lives to make us the kinds of men we are supposed to be. Thanks for joining us today on Begin in the Word. I hope as you have begun today in the Word of God, you will live out today in the Word of God.